upset about the situation, what happened in the first fight, but you can't change it. It is what it is. And he obviously wants to put in his mind.
He's not ready, plain and simple. That's the brutal consensus echoing through the boxing world right now. Daniel Dubois may be gearing up for a rematch against Oleksandr Usyk, but the harsh reality is glaring. The kid's walking into a storm without an umbrella. And the professionals, the ones who know the game, who've lived through wars in the ring, are calling it exactly how they see it. There's no sugarcoating, no fan service, just raw, uncomfortable truth. Dubois is not evolving, he's spiraling, and the cracks aren't just forming, they're splitting wide open under the weight of criticism from every corner of the sport. Let's start with Joe Rogan. The man doesn't throw punches in the ring, but
knocked him out in the first round. He hit him with a left hook and then a right hand as he was going down. Pereira's a monster. So he was sparring with this monster.
When he talks, people listen. And what Rogan said wasn't just commentary, it was an autopsy. Rogan didn't just tell a story about Dubois getting dropped in sparring. He exposed a fundamental flaw, fragility. Rogan revealed that Dubois was being sparked out in training.
That Mike Tyson, at least for a round or two,
first time he
Mike
gets
Tyson.
cracked, it's gonna, I guarantee you, his head's gonna be like, oh shit.
It's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
How many rounds is it?
I think it's 8.
Yeah.
Which is like flashing a red light before stepping into the lion's den with a pound-for-pound wizard like Usyk. If you're getting put to sleep behind closed doors, how in the world can you survive 12 clinical rounds against a technician who dismantles champions? And Rogan didn't stop there. He took it deeper, questioning Dubois' very essence as a fighter. He painted the picture vividly.
Who do you see as the more dangerous opponent though? Usyk or Dubois?
I believe Usyk. I believe Usyk is a great fighter. Dubois is a changed fighter from his first fight. But then this is why we had the rematch, to see whether Dubois can overcome what he got stopped with a jab. And he did. A lot of people are also questioning the body shot.
Once Dubois gets tagged, he panics. Lights dim, legs betray him. Survival instinct goes out the window. That's not championship behavior. That's a sign of someone mentally overwhelmed by pressure. Usyk doesn't just hit hard, he hits smart. His punches come with layers, timing, deception. Dubois doesn't seem built for that level of fire. Right after Rogan shredded the veil off Dubois' height, Joseph Parker.
I think that what Dubois' team are clearly overlooking is the fact that if Dubois raises his game, then Usyk will raise his game. Usyk isn't shot, he's not over the hill. He's got plenty of miles left on the clock, I believe. And I think if whatever Daniel Dubois brings to this fight, Usyk will
awkwardly stepped in to defend the young heavyweight. But instead of offering clarity, Parker only added confusion. He tried to talk about change, about how Dubois had matured and grown, but his words rang hollow, especially when he referenced the infamous jab that floored Dubois in the past. It was a weak attempt to rewrite history. He tried to uplift Dubois while accidentally reminding us all of his past fragility. And of course, the low blow excuse surfaced again like a bad rerun, tired, worn out, and completely unconvincing. Then came Duke McKenzie, a former world champion who doesn't waste words. McKenzie threw the final punch to Parker's wishful thinking by calling out the delusion in Dubois' camp. The narrative that Usyk is fading, that he's past his prime, is pure fiction. McKenzie made it crystal clear, Usyk isn't slowing down. If anything, he's sharpening his already lethal toolkit. Dubois may be a better version of himself now.
say if he was fighting anybody else other than Oleksandr Usyk, I would pick him to win. But what they're convinced...
You think he is #2 heavyweight in the world right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
More measured, more disciplined, but none of that matters when you're standing across from someone like Usyk. This is not just another fight. This is a chess match between a grandmaster and someone still learning the board. McKenzie didn't mince words when he admitted he wouldn't pick Dubois in this matchup. That says everything. He's seen growth, sure, but growth isn't enough when the gap in boxing IQ is this staggering. Even McKenzie's body language betrayed his own lack of belief. He tried to be respectful, tried to spin optimism, but his tone couldn't hide the truth. Deep down, even the most generous critics are struggling to believe in the Dubois redemption arc. And then Carl Froch entered the scene and stripped away the last excuse Dubois fans were clinging to the low blow myth. Froch, known for his blunt honesty, didn't hesitate to set the record straight. The punch landed on the shorts near the groin. That's a foul. It wasn't close. It wasn't subjective. It was illegal. And Froch, who's fought the best and stood toe-to-toe in some of the most brutal wars.
You land a shot on here, this is a good shot, it's a body shot. The referee didn't do that. Bottom part of the glove was on the actual shorts, on his scrotum area, really quite low, too low really. So it was a legitimate low blow. Had Usyk been told that's not a low blow and
explained why that matters, Usyk could have gotten up and continued if it were clean, because that's what real champions do. But more importantly, Froch's point wasn't just about rules, it was about mindset. Dubois' reliance on that controversy showed a lack of accountability. Instead of facing the truth, they hid behind a technicality. That's not how you build greatness. What Froch exposed goes beyond a single punch. It reveals a culture of excuse-making, a camp more focused on optics than preparation, lazy training, no real game plan. And now, even in the rematch, Dubois' team still sounds unsure. Froch's words hit like a sledgehammer. Dubois didn't just get beat, he mentally folded. And just when the truth felt fully laid bare, in steps Floyd Mayweather, a name synonymous with perfection. Floyd didn't say much, but what he did say landed like a thunderclap. He called Usyk a hell of a fighter with a crazy amateur background. That's not just praise from Floyd.
It's going to be hard to beat him. It's going to be hard to beat Usyk because he's sassy and he outpunched his jab.
It's a warning label. Mayweather doesn't give out compliments lightly. He's seen it all. Flashy knockouts, brilliant tacticians, pressure fighters, counter punchers, and yet he singles out Usyk. Why? Because Usyk is the real deal. His footwork, his ring IQ, his resume. It all speaks to someone operating on a level few reach, while Dubois is still trying to fix holes in his defense and shaking off the trauma of his last outing. Usyk is polishing a diamond already close to perfection. This isn't just about who has power or who wants it more. This is about mastery. Floyd knows it, and if the sport's greatest defensive genius sees something special in Usyk, then the gulf between him and Dubois isn't just wide, it's practically unbridgeable. Even Sol Dakers, a man who tried to give Dubois some credit, couldn't fully commit to the hype. Dakers acknowledged that Dubois has a big punch and a decent jab, but that's where the praise ends. He didn't...
Not really too much difference. I haven't really seen too much difference. I think maybe he's just more confident in the ring, maybe, with the opponents. You know, we know he can punch. We know he's got a good jab. So it might just be a matter of, like I said, confidence in himself. I don't think he's...
highlight any major improvements, and that's telling. Because if Dubois had truly transformed, if he had truly evolved into a different beast, someone like Dakers would be championing it from every platform. Instead, his response was lukewarm, cautious, hesitant. Dakers wasn't alone in this hesitation. The real bombshell came when Don Charles, Dubois' own trainer, spoke up and admitted the truth. They got it wrong the first time. Charles confessed that the preparation wasn't right, that mistakes were made, and while his honesty is refreshing, it's also terrifying. You're heading into the most important fight of your career, a rematch against a generational talent, and your team is still ironing out the basics. That's not a strategy. That's damage control. Charles tries to offer optimism. He says Dubois has what it takes, but that's coach speak. What matters is what we've seen in the ring, and so far, it's not encouraging. Their previous failure isn't just a footnote, it's a forecast. And if Dubois walks into...
I do believe in Daniel Dubois as a fighter, that he's got what it takes to be successful against Oleksandr Usyk.
This fight banking on trying harder, he's gonna get dismantled even faster. Dave Coldwell added the final tactical breakdown. He acknowledged Dubois' strength and bullish mindset, but then laid out the real issue. Usyk is a nightmare matchup. It's not just about how good Usyk is. It's about how specifically difficult he is. For someone like Dubois, Coldwell said it best, even without the low blow drama, Usyk was schooling Dubois. The footwork, The timing, the ring control. It wasn't even close. Dubois didn't just lose. He had no answers. That's the difference here. It's not just about power versus skill. It's about adaptability versus predictability. Usyk evolves mid-round. Dubois throws the same combinations, hoping for the same results. And Coldwell was clear, if Dubois enters this fight with the same mentality, hoping to bulldoze Usyk with raw force, he's not just gonna lose. He's going to get picked apart, humiliated, and stopped. And then came the knockout.
Good fight. Where Dubois is now, he's very confident, very bullish. But Usyk's older, he's had more wear and tear. The fights with Fury have taken a lot out of him. Don't underestimate that. But Usyk's he's a different animal. It's a different animal. And ultimately, you got to remember, take away that one shot, whether you thought it was low or not, that one bit of drama, take away.
Verdict from Adam Smith. Smith, the voice of British boxing for years, didn't even try to balance his take. He called Usyk the best fighter of this generation. Period. Cleaned out cruiserweight, dominated Anthony Joshua, beat Tyson Fury. That's not a resume, that's a monument. Smith didn't need to compare him to Dubois directly. The contrast was already too stark. One is a master of the game. The other is still figuring out the rules. Dubois isn't just the underdog. He's the plot twist. Usyk is preparing to erase. And Smith's words, combined with the avalanche of criticism from boxing insiders, paint a clear picture. Usyk is in a different galaxy. Dubois may have the physical tools, but none of that matters when the mind and preparation aren't aligned. The footwork, the ring IQ, the adaptability. Usyk has it all, and Dubois...
Problem. Oleksandr Usyk is the best fighter in boxing, period. Of this generation, what he's done at cruiserweight, what he's done at heavyweight, what he's done to all the other British fighters, to do the double over AJ, the double over...
Dubois is still chasing shadows from the last beating. So what's at stake here? Everything. For Dubois, this isn't just a shot at redemption, it's a desperate attempt to reclaim credibility. But the way the boxing world sees it, he's not walking into a comeback story. He's walking into another demolition. The critics aren't whispering doubts, they're screaming warnings. And when voices like Joe Rogan, Carl Froch, Floyd Mayweather, and Adam Smith all agree, it's no longer opinion, it's prophecy. Daniel Dubois might land the punch of his life and flip the division upside down. But if, and more likely, when Usyk proves once again that there are levels to this game, every excuse Dubois ever made will be buried under the weight of undeniable truth. This isn't about belts anymore. It's about legacy. Usyk fights to define greatness. Dubois fights to survive shame. So the real question is, are you betting on a miracle, or will Oleksandr Usyk remind the world why he's untouchable? Let us know your take in the comments below. This isn't just a fight, it's the collision of illusion and mastery. And when the bell rings, the truth won't be polite.